My sound, your sound, and the screen. Hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama? Doing alright. You are a little quieter than you were before we started.
Yep. Mic got shifted.
Okay. No worries. I'm just doing a little bit more setup here before we get started. Anything exciting since last time that you want to talk about?
No, nothing really going on.
Yep. Nothing that I want to share on my side either. So, that makes it Sudoku time. Sudoku browser, make sure that I grab this one here, and then we can transition over to this and get started. Copy. Alternating stripes Sudoku. I'll leave that open for now. Alright. Then, first puzzle for today, Alternating Stripes Sudoku by Sudoku Grand Prix, Croatia. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along each orange or gray stripe, digits must be alternatingly larger and smaller than their immediate neighbors. Digits may not repeat anywhere on a stripe. So, for digits must be alternatingly larger and smaller than their immediate neighbors, then it's basically a thermo that we just don't know which direction it goes. Does that sound correct?
No.
Because
it could go like 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7. That alternates the higher and lower.
yeah, but how would the 9 work?
It would have to be on an end.
But then it couldn't go 1, 9, 2.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, because it's smaller than both. Oh, larger and smaller. So yeah, I guess it's
so if it has to, if it's saying that a digit x, let's say it's 5, has 2 neighbors. One of those neighbors is smaller.
Okay, yeah.
And one is larger. So then that could be like 2 and 7. Now the 2 has 5 as a neighbor, which is larger. So then on the other side of the 2 could only be a 1. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was misreading that.
Yeah. So I think they operate like a thermo, we just don't know where the bulb is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, this should be fairly straightforward. 2, 5, 7, and 9 are all removed. 3 and 8, 4 and 6, 3 and 4, 3, 4 and 6. And you can't put 1 in between 2 digits. And then 8 wouldn't have a larger digit, so this would have to be 8. Then this must be the only place a 3 can go. And then a 1's not going to work in between. So then this must be 1. But now this 1 doesn't work according to how we had placed it.
So yeah.
Or, well, I was still correct. This is still 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8. 4, 6, 3, and 8.
Well, then that center digit wouldn't be able to be 8. If one has to be higher and the other lower. And it can't be
Yeah.
1. It would have to be 3.
So all of these have 2 neighbors, so 1's removed. 8's removed from there. 6 and 4. Then this would have to be 9.
Yeah. So I think the wording on the
So I'm not sure how to interpret the rules. I guess here, let's just go over here and
see
do
how
this.
Mark interpreted it. So yeah, so they just alternate high and higher or lower than the previous one.
Okay. That's weird.
Just the way it's stated is.
Yeah. Alternately larger and smaller than there. I guess an example would be necessary for me to get it first try. Especially if there's like a language barrier here. So if we look back in this box, 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, where 4 is removed, 3 is removed, 6 is removed, and 8. Then 1, 4, 6, 7, and 9. 1, 4, 9, and 7. Well, I guess the 9 over here proves that we had the rules wrong, because one of those two is 9.
Right?
Which makes 9 one of those two.
Five is placeable in box 3. And in box 4.
Oh, it can't repeat. So those have to both be 5.
Right.
And that's all the 5s.
Yeah. 3 can be placed in box 3.
So
And
I'm
it
going to take
can't
3
repeat
out
on
of
the
here.
um so that places 3 in box 7.
Oh, it does. And then it can't be here again, so that's a 3. And then it can't be there, so this is a 3. Okay. Oh, never mind. So, if this was an 8, both digits would be smaller. And if this was a 1, both digits would be larger. So we know that this works.
Right.
If this was a 6, this would have to be a 7. Smaller than a 7 could be a 2. Larger than a 2, and then smaller than whatever than that is. That would be fine. This what's left in box 5? 1, 5, 8, 9, and 3 are removed. 4 and 7, 4. So if this was a 2, 3 and 6 are both larger. If this was a 4, 3 and 2 are both smaller. 6 and 7 both have the same property.
But if that corner is 7 that you just moved away from, if that's 7, that one cannot be 6. Because wouldn't it have to be larger afterwards?
Right.
Because 6 is smaller than 7.
Yeah.
So it would if it's 7, it can't go 7, 6. Well, in box 6, there's only 2 spots for a 1.
In box 6, there's only 2 spots. These two.
That's not very helpful. It was more of an observation than anything. Oh. Look at the gray diagonal that's like at the main diagonal. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we have all of the digits that we're going to have.
Right.
Well, that means 1 and 8 have to be here.
2 has to be in box 5 on the diagonal.
Right, same as 7.
Yeah.
And this 4, 6 is larger than 3, so this can't be 9. It would have to be smaller than 4 or 6.
Right.
So that gives us 9 and 9 and 9 and 9.
And eliminate, yeah.
This
And
couldn't be a 7, because then
okay.
those wouldn't both be larger. But
Right.
what were you
The
saying?
orange diagonal in box 9, that one can't be 7 because
They would have to both be larger.
it
So
would have
this
to be
is
larger.
7.
And it can't be 6 either because
Because it would...
have to be larger than 6.
How is this one a 1? It's not. 8. So they're both smaller than 8. Then whatever this is, it has to be larger, or excuse me, this one has to be larger than that. So a 6 would make that a 7, would make that a 2, would make that 4, wait, if this was a 6, that would have to be a 6, I think.
Yeah, because you can't repeat the 6 on the diagonal.
6, 2, 7, 6, and 4. 6, 2, 4, 7, 6. Okay. I think that works. Well, this has to be in between these two. So this is at most 5. So 3 and 5 are removed. Okay, this one obviously has to be smaller than 9. And this one has to be larger than both of these. So this has to be a 7, because 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are not possibilities.
Right. Column 2 just needs a 1 and a 2, and it's resolvable.
So then this must be smaller than 7. Um, 8's left over. Must be 6 and 1.
1,
6 and 4.
yeah.
6, 6, 8, 7, 4. This is what, 8? 6 and 4. 3 and 7. This has to be smaller than 4, so that's a 2. 6, 1, and 8. 2. 4 and 6. That's a 3 apparently. And this cannot be a 4. It can be 1 or 2. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. But it can't be those, so that's a 1, 2, 1, 4, 8,
8.
2, 7, and 6, 7, 8.
Row 3 is a 4.
So, since this is smaller than 5, this also has to be smaller than 5. 7. I don't see 2, and I don't see 6. Okay. That was hard to keep my head around the rules, but I think that was mostly that I hadn't encountered this rule set before. Not that the rules were necessarily extra complicated. I think it's a tougher rule set, but not like, it's tricky because it's new, is what I'm going to say. I don't think it's that difficult outside of the fact that it's new. It's not that puzzle, so not on Logic Masters Germany. Alright. Anything else on this puzzle before moving on? Alright. X, Y, and Z, question marks, by Fenners. Normal 9x9 Sudoku rules apply. Killer cages. Digits in cages with the same letter sum to the same value. These values are to be determined by the solver. Kropki dots. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. Renban lines, digits on a purple line, form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. Alright. Well, Y is a minimum of 15. But a maximum of 24. Say again?
Oh, that's X. Never mind.
Yeah.
X is a maximum of 10. No. Yeah. Oh, well, that's a white Kropki dot under that too, or under that 1. One or 3. Well, and we know that the first question mark is 1 through 7.
Yeah.
So X is now max 8.
Right. And minimum 5. Because you couldn't do 1, 3 for 4, because that would be 2 2s.
Right.
And it obviously can't be 1, 2 for 3, because that's just simply a 3. So 2 and 3 for 5, 3 and 2 for 5, and 1 and 4 for 5. And that would work on all of the thingies. I believe. Could be wrong. Although, where is 1 in this box? Well, it's not here because of Sudoku, and it's not here because of the Renban line rule.
Right.
That is going to be the same for 2 and the same for 3. Now, if this was a 3, it would be over here. Well, that's not true because of that. It doesn't have to be on the Renban. Although, how could it not be on the Renban?
Right, 3 has to be.
And if it can't be here, that means it's going to have to be here. I don't know if that's useful
X is
yet.
going to be greater than 5.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 7 or 8. Because it cannot be 6. Which takes out 4
8.
and 5. 5, 6, 7. So we end up with 7 here, 6 there, 5 there, and actually center those. And 8, 9, and
7. No. 4.
This one's not 4. And now we can't reach 8 or 9 on here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
5, 6, 7. So 4 is there. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't reach 9. Um, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 and 2. Which means we know what y is now, because it has to be 6, 7, 8, which is 21.
Well, yeah.
3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, we'll know what z is.
Yeah, 1 and 6. No, 1 and 9.
So z is 10. So that's 3 and 7 here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can't have 5. 4 is not allowed. 7 and 8. 7 is right there, so that's 8 and 2.
And y is y is 21. Z is 10. So box that's 31, 14. For the 2 corners on the outside of box 2.
21 minus 16 is 5. And it can't be 4 1, so it has to be a 2 3 pair. But we know that this is 10, so it has to be 1 9.
Right.
Oh, I should have just removed the 5 because of the 5 there.
Alright.
Did you spot that earlier and say?
Yeah, but you were talking. Column 6 has a 2 3 pair.
That's a 6 2. Takes 3 out of here. 8 6. 8 6 7 8 doesn't affect that. This is 7, so I need 14 more. 6 8 takes out 6 8 9 and 5. 4 and 7. 3 5. This one. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 7 4. And then I need 1 and 9. Oh, we know what these are. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 3 5 and 6 is 14 plus 7 makes 21. Okay, I need a 1 in this box, and it's not on the right side. And if it was on the Renban, it would need to pair with a 2. Well, it can't, so that's a 1. 2 would have to pair with either 1. Well, it's already removed from there. 2 is one of those two.
Well, and if you
3.
look at what's there, 4 can't
4.
pair with 3 or 5, so that can't be 4. That's got to be 8 and 9.
2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Well, this is odd, and one of those is odd, so this has to be... Oh, well, 2 has to be one of those two, so you can't reach 4. So 2 and 3 makes 5 and 4.
Column 1 needs 3, 4, 5, 6, and the bottom one sees 3, 5, and 4, so it's a 6.
One, 2, 6, and 7. 5, 3, 9, 3, 4, 5, and 9. It's 8, 7, 4, 5 pair.
Column 3 has a 2, 4 pair.
This is a 1.
6 and 7. 8
2.
and 2.
Let's do the right side.
2 and 5. 1 and 4.
Oh, it was the 5 that was there. Okay. I got a little confused how we knew that this one was 2, and I'm like, but I didn't know where the 2 was in this column before. Well, that's not the important part. It was the 5 that ruled out the 5, which forced it to be a 2. I guess my brain is fuzzy today. Copy. Of course, how often is my brain not fuzzy? Row 2. Very nice puzzle. Might say this is a very easy puzzle.
It was pretty darn easy.
Yeah.
Well, earlier today I heard imitation is the purest form of crab meat. I was so confused at first. Like, that makes no sense. Oh, yeah, imitation crab.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first all I could think was that makes no sense.
Um,
And I understood.
yeah. I'm trying to have like a response to it, but it's just sort of like I was aware of imitation crab meat, so I got that part. I guess the thing that I'm assuming imitation crab is not a type of crab.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
In which case it is something that is attempting to imitate
Crab.
yeah. I would assume it doesn't do a crabby job. Otherwise, people would be a tad upset. Unfortunately, we don't have an audience who can boo me. Although, are you still there, Mama?
Yeah.
You didn't disconnect over the bad pun.
No, I just ignored it.
All right. All right. I guess I don't have anything else to say about the imitation crab meat. So, or the sincerest form of imitation crab. Or however you said it. You said it differently than what I just said, but
Imitation is the sincerest form of crab meat.
yeah. Although it's not sincere, so technically the statement is a lie. But I don't know. Anyway, next puzzle. Corny-chan by Lorena. I'm sorry, the rules seem to have been invaded by pickles. I hope you can still make pickle of them. Normal pickle rules apply. Two adjacent pickles on a pickle line have a difference of at least 5. Pickles separated by a light pickle dot are consecutive. Pickles separated by a dark pickle dot are in a 2-to-1 pickle. Not all pickles are necessarily shown have pickle. This is hilarious.
Okay.
All right.
Well, box 1, you should be
Mm-hmm.
able to place a
Oh, yeah.
5.
Easy days. Because the green lines, because they have to have a difference of at least 5, you can't put a 5 on them. Because 5 below 5 is 0, and 5 above 5 is 10, neither of which can you represent on a Sudoku grid.
Right, and in column 1, box 1, the center of the P there, or well, that connects to 3 different spots.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
it
gonna
can
be
still
either
be 1
8,
or 2,
9, or
8 or
1,
9.
2.
Now, whatever these 3 are, it's the center there. But these 3 all have neighbors. So this must be 4 or 6. Which means this is 1 or 9.
Well, and the other 4 or 6 is gonna have to be one of the ends of
Right.
yeah.
So then this is the other 1 or 9. I guess I should have gone around and been like green, purple, green, purple, green, purple, green, purple, 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 purple.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were doing it that way.
Now, from here, these 2, well, because we end up on another pickle line that cannot have a 5 on it, these are going to have to be purple and this one green.
Yeah.
So now with our 2-to-1 ratio, because the light green dots
Right.
are consecutive, The only way to go from purple to green would be through 5. So it's not possible to put purple and green together on a lighter dot. And since I can't put 5 on the green line, then they both have to be the same. Now, with the darker dot, they're in a 2 to 1 ratio. Yeah. So green is small and purple is large. Now, that doesn't help here, though. Not yet, at least.
No.
But we know 2 is one of those. Oh, we also know neither is 4. Because if either was 4, you'd have 9 on both sides, because 4 plus 5 is 9. And so you can't have 2 different digits, because if 9 is the farthest or the closest, then the next farthest would be 10, which we already said we can't represent. So that's 1 and 2. So if these 2 were blue, they would be 3 and 4. But notice 4 would have 2 neighbors in either case. So these can't be blue, they are red.
And neither one is 6.
Right.
And the other red in that column cannot be 6.
7.
Which is flanked by 1 and 2.
These both have to be 8 or 9. They can't be 6 because both the neighbors see each other around it. So if this was a 6, these would both be 1s, but those see each other. And again, 6 make both of those 1, which isn't allowed. But you could put a 6 here and make both of those 1, except for this over there. So you could make this a 4 and then both of those 9. That would be a possibility. Now, going
on.
Go ahead.
The reds on row 5 cannot be 6.
Yeah. We just proved that can't be 6 because those would both be 1s and break this.
And none of the blues on there can be 4. Which makes 4, 5, and 6.
This one, well, this one's 3 or 4. So this is 8 or 9. Now, this is consecutive, and so is this. And because the darker cropy dot, you can't put a 5 in a 2 to 1 ratio, because you can't divide 5 by 2, you'd get 2.5. And if you multiply by 2, you get 10, but we can't represent 10. So we can't use 5, and we already said we can't cross a consecutive cropy dot in order to get from blue to red. So these have to be blue, and again, 1, 2, or 4. So 4 doesn't work here. This must be 3. 3 or 4. Again, 4 doesn't work. I think all of the others do. Now, this could be a 5, and then this a red digit. Oh, 1 and 2 makes 3. So this is either 4 or 5.
7.
Right.
The 3, yeah.
Well, if that was a 4, well, then 4 doesn't work. There's no 3 or 5 there. So this has to be a 5, this has to be a 4, that has to be a 3, and that has to be a 2. So this is either 4 or it's 6. Either way, this is 1 or 9.
And there's 1, 2, 4 triple in the column 5.
So 9 and 4, 8 and 8, 8 and 7 and 9. Five and 6 make 4, makes 6, makes 1, makes 9. Uh, 7, 8. If one of those is 7, this has to be a 2. So 3 and 4, that's 1. 2 and 1. Two, 6, 8, 9. That's not a 2 nor a 9, so red. 6, 8 makes that a 9. Not a 9, not 6 or 8, so it's 2. This 5 means that can't be a 5, so it must be red. If this was 5, that would be 4, but we know that that's not true. So this cannot be a 5, because it would be surrounded by 6 and 4. This can't be 6 anyway. It has to be 7 or 9. It's not a 9, so it is a 7. So this must be red. 6 or 8. It's a 6. That's an 8. That's a 6. And so this must be 5. And we don't still have a 1. 3, 4, 8 and 7. 3, 4.
Row 8 is 4, 5, and 6 left.
5 is here, 2 is there, 5 is that, neither of those. Don't know which way that goes yet. It's on gray. This is a red 8 and a blue 1 or 2. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Apparently that one's 6. Uh, 5, I believe. No, this is a red 6. This one is our 5. This must be a blue 4 and a red 9, making this blue and the rest of these red. This is also red. 2 a 4, not a 4. One of those is 4. 6, 7, 6 and 7. 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's a 6. This is not 6 or 9. Up 6 forces that to be 1, 4 and 2, 3 and 4. 4 forces 9 and 8. 1 and 2, 2 and 1. This row is missing, well, the blue 4 is here, so 5, 7, and 9. Well, this is a 1. And 7 or 8. 7, 8, 9. 1, 8. 2 or 4. Excuse me. This is a blue 2 or 4. 4, 2. 7 still allowed.
Column 7 needs a 1.
5, 7, 8,
5, 7, 8.
7, 8, 9, 7, 5, 7, 9.
Column
7,
5,
5, 3, 8.
3. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh.
Pickles! And paste.
Ah.
What happened?
Oh, Little's decided to stretch over. She's decided she wants to be on the table,
Hmm.
the computer, and she tried to stretch. Like, no, don't hit the computer.
Apparently this is an April Fool's puzzle. Although it was published on March 1st this year. Yeah, very nice. I think it was very easy. As long as you're familiar with German whispers and how those affect crocky dots and such.
Yeah.
Which I think German whispers tend to be a little bit difficult, but I don't know if this puzzle. I don't know. I'm gonna go with very easy. Alright. And make sure I copy to the link, which I had not done yet.
Down.
Alright. And then we definitely have time for at least 2 more puzzles, because this should be a short one as well. This puzzle is called Sliding Doors by Michael Lefkowitz. Draw 7 6-cell regions in the grid. Some region boundaries are given. Excuse me. Sliding Doors by Michael Lefkowitz. Draw 6. You'd think I'd know how to read by now. Sliding Doors by Michael Lefkowitz. Draw 7 6-cell regions in the grid. Some region boundaries are given. And place the digits 1 through 6 in every row, column, and region. Regions consist of 6 orthogonally connected cells. Cells not in regions should be left empty. Each clue outside the grid gives the sum of the cells in the row or column from the direction of the clue until reaching an empty cell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's an empty cell in each
Right.
row. Each clue outside the grid gives the sum. Well, 15. Well, 15's maximum 5.
And the digits 1 through 6.
Yeah. Now, 6 and 5 is 11. And, 6, 5, and 4 would be 15. So this is minimum 3. 14 is also minimum 3. And 12 is minimum 3. 9 is minimum 2. 13 is minimum 3 because 6 and 5 is 11. So I have to at least reach the third cell. That's bugging me. Okay. So what can we learn from this? We don't even know. Oh, wait a second. 6 is maximum 3. So we know the empty cell is somewhere in these 3. So this has to be not empty, and that not empty. And it's not 21, so that one's not empty, that one's not empty, and that's not empty. In fact, the opposite of 12 is 9 in this case. Right?
Right.
So we have to have 2 filled over here. Opposite side of the 14. And on the opposite side of the 9, I have to have at least 3. The opposite of 13 is...
8.
Well, it's not 6. You said 8?
Uh-huh. 13 and 8 is 21. Well, the max number of digits that you could use for 14
Is 4.
4.
Because if it was 5, that's minimum 15. So, whoops. Oh, why is this on center only? Doot, 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 doot. Eh. So all of these have to be filled in. So then that gives us another X.
Well, is there an empty cell in every
Yeah, because
row
it's
and
7 by
column?
7. And every
Oh,
row
right.
and column has to have 1 through 6
Right, yeah.
without repeats.
Well, then the column with the 13 at the top has its empty cell.
Right. Now our 15 does. First try. Just going to keep it for the 6 for the moment.
Yeah.
Guess I should draw line all the way around.
But consider where the empty cells, what columns the empty cells are left in relation to row 2.
Oh, they're there.
That's a 6 in row 2.
So now one of those two and one of those two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the circles are the possible empties.
Okay, well, the bottom left corner is part of a region, a 6-cell region. Yeah.
Oh, this is a region border. So if this was red, it would
Right, violate
it
that.
wouldn't be a region border. And so red
That's
must
gonna-
continue. Oops, wrong.
Well, and if you look to the right of all those X's, all those empty cells, going up to the 6, there's 10. And we need a total of 12.
10, 11, 12.
Make 2 regions. So there's 2 regions. Well, and like the top 3 there, the 2 above the 6, pick a color. Is it red or
Oh,
is it
we
yellow
said
or is it blue?
um
Oh, right. Yeah. I suppose you could all the spots where the X's are, make those gray and take the X's out. Because they won't have, or whatever, because they won't have.
this can't be purple. So purple goes one more, and purple isn't done yet, so it expands. So now purple's there. Green must expand, and green's reached 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Purple's done.
Yeah.
Orange must expand.
And the one above the red, or to the right of the red, the 2 bottom ones there, they're not red.
Yeah. Oh, we have 7, so let's call this silver. And this can't be that, so silver. Well, red has 2 more. So 1. What color can this be? Red, yellow, blue, green, purple, orange, and silver. That's 7. What color can this digit be?
Well,
One,
it can't be
2,
red.
3, 4,
It's
5,
either
6,
orange or
7.
silver.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it doesn't change if I grab that. So this has to be silver then. And if silver expands, then silver can't go here. The red will only have 5. So red must take up both of those, and silver is that, and then this is orange. Okay.
And red has to have a 6.
Right. 6 is one of those two.
And silver has to have a 6.
Those
That's one of
two.
those two.
This can still be 6. Although, where is 6 in orange? It's not there. Not there. If it wasn't here, that's empty. Silver's is down here. That's already in green. If we're saying it's not in orange, it can't be in yellow. It wouldn't be in this row at all. So it has to be one of those two. Now, this can still be in blue.
Right.
So that could still be 6. These 3 are 7, right? So 1,
Right.
2, 4 to make this 3, 5, and 6. And now these two are 8. So 4 is not allowed. This is what's going to have to be 6 and 2.
Okay, the 12 row, there has to be a 2 in there. And there's already 2 in blue. So that's yellow. Three and 5.
It's also a 3. This is a
2.
2. 1, 4, 5. 2 and 3. And then 1, 4, 5. Okay, I'm not going to mark that. This is our
Column 4,
6. 1,
or no,
2.
column 5, rather.
Column 7,
Yeah, that one.
6, 5.
It's under the 13. 1, 3, 4, 5.
5, 2. 2 pair, makes this 3. 1, 2, and 4. Those aren't 4, so that is. 1, 2 pair makes that 5. Makes that 1, makes this 2, makes that 1, makes that 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 5. So 2, 5, and 1. Ta-da! Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put the links in the chat for.
Oh, oops.
I just
Oopsie
noticed that.
doopsie. Very nice. I guess most people are saying very easy, and I'm struggling to come up with a reason not to agree with them. The only thing that was tricky was figuring out this one, I think. And I guess the spotting the 12 down here that forced this was a bit tricky, but is pretty straightforward once you spot that. And this one isn't even that hard. I think the hardest part of this puzzle was this right here. Is this logic that you spotted. So I don't know. Going with very easy seems fine to me. Yeah. Not sure what's going on there. Anywho, all right. Then we go back over here, and we hit mute on this. Play 0. Play. All of those in the background, and we'll grab another puzzle. All right. I don't know, we'll see if we've got time for 2 more. City of Skyscrapers by Kitty Trouble. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in killer cages cannot repeat. Each killer cage represents a skyscraper with a height equal to its sum. Digits outside cages do not have any skyscrapers. Clues outside the grid indicate how many skyscrapers it can see from that direction. For example, if there are 5 killer cages in a row or column, and their sums are 4, 10, 10, 13, and 5, leading away from a skyscraper clue, the skyscraper's clue value would be 3. What? Each killer cage represents a skyscraper with a height equal to its sum. Okay. I think I understand now. The whole cage is a singular skyscraper, rather than individual cells. That seems straightforward enough to me. Give me... I got briefly attacked by the sniffles. Alright. I guess begin. We see this 1 here means this has to be larger than all 3 of those cages. But then it's smaller than at least 2 of those. This sees 4. So this is smaller than this, which is smaller than this, which is smaller than that. But then this one could be larger and make one of these invisible.
Right.
Okay, this one sees both. That's not very helpful, but we know it sees both.
Well, row 1, there are 5 buildings in that.
Yeah.
But row 2 only has 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay. So we see all 3.
Row 4 is the same way. It sees all 3 of those. Row 5, there's only 3 to be seen.
One, 2, 3. Yeah, this notation's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Alright. This column is probably the most important, because there are
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I can see 3, then I clearly see the first one from both sides. Now, maybe I don't see the second one, in which case I would see the third one and the fourth one, and then from the bottom I would have to see 1, 2, 3. So one of them is not visible from its side.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I see the bottom 3, then this one would be the largest, which means this one sees it, which means it doesn't see all 3 from this side. So this is maximum 15 because
Yeah.
17 and 16 makes
No,
15.
you can't do 17 and 16. They both use
Uh,
9,
right.
but
But
you
I could
can
do
use
17 and 16 that way.
okay. Yeah.
And then that one's not visible. So it's still maximum 15. Now this is larger than this one. This one is larger than this one. So this one's the biggest, then this one's smaller than red. Blue is smaller than yellow, and then green is larger than yellow. But red is larger than yellow, which is larger than blue.
Okay, if you look
So,
at row 7,
yeah.
it sees 2.
But it's got 4 possibilities, and it might see
Right.
both purple and orange.
Right. But it's not going to be able to see green because green is larger than yellow.
Um,
Well, no, because
this
orange could
one
be
is
smaller
larger
than
than
purple.
this. Yeah. This 2 cannot see yellow, because if it can see yellow, it would see green.
Right.
Which means that purple or orange must be larger than yellow. We know purple is seen. But if purple is larger than yellow, then orange can be smaller than purple, and then green be larger than purple, and we just see purple and green.
Right.
Alright. I think I'm going to focus on row 9, because red is larger than yellow because of the 1.
Right.
And yellow is larger than blue because of the 3. So if blue is smaller than yellow, and yellow is smaller than red, blue is smaller than red, and this 4 sees red and these 3.
Right.
Although I guess I don't know if that gave me any extra information. It just means that these are in order. But with this
Right.
being between 6 and 15, that's not exactly hard. red, yellow, blue, green, and purple. Orange, silver, gray. Okay. Take out red and green for a second. And make this green and this one red. Okay. What is the relationship between yellow and red? Well, yellow is smaller than blue, which is smaller than purple, which is smaller than orange, which is smaller than green, which is smaller than red. Therefore, yellow is smaller than red. Well, what does that mean? It means that this 3 cannot see this yellow, which means its wall has to be over here. This one is the largest in this column, because if this one was the largest in this column, or this one, then this 3 wouldn't work. So what does that mean about this one? Red, gray, and black go in order. Because yellow isn't seen from this side. I don't know how to notate that.
Letters. Because we know red is smaller than this and this,
Maybe. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H,
well, F is you put A is that's the tallest one in that row. I would have started with what we know is smaller. What we know
Well,
is the smallest of what we know.
I can always add letters going down. It's hard to add letters going up.
Okay.
Because, like, let's say I learned
Right, yeah.
that this one was larger than that one. Then this could be like A1 or something, 1A. But yeah, so A is larger than B, is larger than C, is larger than D, is larger than E, is larger than F, is larger than G, is larger than H, is larger than I. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay. Oops. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in killer cages cannot repeat. Each killer cage represents a skyscraper with a height equal to its sum. Digits outside the cages do not have any skyscrapers. Those outside the grid indicate how many skyscrapers it can see, but we can have repeats 4, 10, 10, 13, and 5.
Right. The sums can repeat.
Yeah. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 through 15. That's not helpful at all. Okay? Well, this one is larger than D,
Right.
which is larger than E, which is larger than F, which is larger than G, which is larger than H, which is larger than I. So if this is larger than I, that means I cannot be seen from the bottom. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4 possibilities still. Hmm. Oh, hi, Brian. How long ago was that message? That was 5 minutes ago. Hopefully you're still watching.
There's only 2 next to the. Oh, it says that I am. Why are only showing 2 next to the peoples?
Probably because it's just not like consistent. The analytics here on like this side is probably more consistent. Whereas the phone would update more slowly, or
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about how the servers do all the calculations, and it's not all exact numbers and whatnot.
21 minutes and we've gotten very little.
Yeah, this puzzle's hard. Um, we know that this is smaller than A, and that is smaller than that. And yellow, blue. But that's not that helpful, because it's not that long of a chain. Because we know that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I go in that order. It's just there's too much spacing. Because this is minimum 3, just because it's a 2-cell cage. But then this is maximum 17. And if you follow the chain all the way down, then this is maximum 9. Which is helpful, it's just not enough. Okay, this one is larger than H. But E is larger than H. So I don't know
Right.
where this is in the chain for this 3. Because this could be larger than E, and then this is simply larger than that, and then it's just those 3. But even if this is smaller than E, because E is seen by the 3 up top here, and this is smaller than A, and this is smaller than that. But then this is larger than this. Okay, hold on. Get rid of this one for the moment. If this is red, this one's yellow, and this one's blue. we know that red is smaller than yellow is smaller than blue. Then, if we look at this row, if 3 can see yellow, then it can see blue. Which
Right.
means it can only see this one. Other ones. But if it can't see...
Well, and the domino that's under that 2 and 3
Yeah,
is smaller than yellow.
right. Right, let's call it green. So if 3 can see green, it can see yellow and blue.
Right.
So this 3 cannot see green.
And it cannot see yellow.
Well, it could see yellow.
Yeah, okay.
Because it can see these 3. It just
right.
cannot see green. So either this is larger than green and smaller than yellow, or this is larger than yellow and smaller than blue.
Right.
But it has to see blue. Blue, yellow, green. Then that one's larger than green. So that doesn't necessarily follow. But it does give green a maximum value, because this is maximum 9 and minimum 3. But if this is 3, then that would be 4. So this is 4 through 9, and this is 3 through 8. Which doesn't restrict yellow or blue very much. This 3 sees this. Maybe sees that, and we don't know above it. And we don't even know that red is larger than I. And because there's 4 options in here, we don't even know how this blue relates to E. purple, orange. So what do we know about column 8? We know that purple is larger than H. And E is larger than H. So purple I guess there's also this one right here, gray. And this one over here, black. We know that black is larger than D. So this 2 cannot see D, which means either orange or gray well, if 2 sees gray, it's larger than black. If 2 does not see gray, then orange is larger than D, but smaller than black. But black is in the ABC range. Okay. If gray was larger than D, it would have to be smaller than C. Because we do know that C is larger than gray. Mm-hmm. If this 2 can see the gray, then it's larger than D but smaller than C. But if 2 doesn't see it, then orange is larger than D. And then it doesn't really matter about the rest of it. But because orange would be larger than D, then purple would be smaller than orange, which would be smaller than blue. Wait, no. Purple would be smaller than orange. This 3, if this is larger than D, then it's also larger than E. So then orange would be seen by the 3, and purple and blue would be seen by 3. And then blue would be the smallest of those 3 colors. And then yellow and green. And red and green would be in the same sort of smaller than yellow space. Is it possible that this 3 sees E? If this is smaller than E, then that would be true. So can orange be smaller than E? If it is, it's smaller than D, so gray would have to be larger than D. But then I still get purple. Well, I just get that blue is smaller than E. I don't know. Can't keep all these relationships in my head.
No.
I wish I knew that gray was smaller than D. But I guess it's not relevant.
Well, we know
This. Go ahead.
E is larger than F.
Yeah.
Now, let's.
We may have to come back to this one because it's about sign-off time.
Yeah.
I don't see us making progress. So maybe we just come back to this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Alright. Then hit the pause button here and we will come back to this puzzle. If you think you can get farther than us, I will put the link in the description. And actually, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat real quick. City of Skyscrapers. Oop. And we will try this more tomorrow. But yeah. Alright, with that being said, thank you anyone who watched this, or watches this back rather, and thank you to people who watched, during. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fancy YouTube engagement stuff, which I guess I should have remembered to like my own, stream. Sudoku tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and Monster Hunter World on Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, and Final Fantasy VI sometime. I'm not scheduling that one. But yeah, alright. Good night. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Good night, Brian.